that mindset is a muscle is this idea that it's a daily practice. So the analogy I always use, not unlike the arm that we talked about, right? Let's imagine, we want a six pack. Let's say I've decided I want a six pack and I do all the right things to get a six pack. I stop eating chocolate bars. I don't eat French fries anymore. I work out every day. I do 100 crunches every night before bed. Well, yes, I will eventually get a six pack, right? All of those actions will add up to an outcome. I mean, that's just true. That's just a fact. Now, once I get my six pack, if I stop doing the actions that got me the six pack, what's going to happen? If I start eating the chocolate bars and the French fries again, and I stop doing my push ups and I stop working out, I will lose the six pack. And a mindset is exactly like that. We don't arrive at a strong mindset. We have to keep a strong mindset. The second thing is in every single market, every single economic climate, there is opportunity. But one of the things that we're going to talk a lot about in Profit as a Skill is, do you need to rethink how you sell what you sell? Not what you do. I don't believe in changing your SLAP statement in weird economic moments, good, bad, happy, sad. But I do believe that when economy and global trends are changing, we may have to change how we do what we do. So in the context of SLAP, that would mean you don't change your what, but you might change your revenue streams. So a lot of the Profit as a Skill conversation will be an evaluation of how you sell what you sell, the things you sell, the price point, the costs around it, how you deliver it. Because there's often, when the world changes, we have to change with it. And often the most targeted and efficient and effective strategic thing to change is your revenue. So the challenge then is, we actually had a great conversation about this in another strategy meet a couple months ago with someone. The mission, which is counterintuitive, the mission is when things are the most uncertain, uncomfortable, unclear, we actually need to like quadruple down on mindset reps, because we need our mindset to be even stronger. So the philosophy would be that the most resilient of mindsets, right, which none of us have, it's an impossible dream, but let's pretend we were fighting for impossible. The most resilient mindset would be able to stay grounded, calm, right, out of stages of stuck, consistent, thriving, focused, clear and disciplined, steady, regardless of any circumstance, right? Change, transition, economy, politics, divorce, death, illness. What I want for all of us is alignment, right? The idea of balance is silly. It's never going to happen. The idea of, all of these words like motivation, unhelpful, what I believe is true is that, let me actually perfectly share this. I found it. Good news. Share my screen. We talk about it as being the silver standard at Silver Lining, because we're a silver lining. But I think the silver standard of business leadership is transcending this idea of balance and moving to the idea of alignment, where your mindset, everything we're talking about today, the goals that you've set for profit, your financial health, and then the impact that you want to have in the world are in perfect alignment. So there's no version where, we're all going to magically figure out how to be Change balanced. Takes time. The SLAP moment usually comes around the 1 year mark. So when SLAPsters do change, it's almost like the first year of SLAP. It's like learning a new language. There's a lot of resistance. People are mad at me. They don't believe me. They push back. They think it's crazy. And then something happens, like Shar is describing, and they're like, oh, I see it all of a sudden. And then in year 2, growth starts to happen a lot more efficiently. Year 3, things really start to move. And there is this momentum that happens that Shar is describing. The other thing that you just described, Shar, so perfectly, I'm just going to pull this slide up again for 1.5 seconds. But what you just described perfectly is this concept, right? You actually got your mindset in order first. Because your mindset was in order, you started taking the right action. A calendar that is clean, organized, time blocked, almost always correlates to financial success. A calendar that is chaotic, overlapping, confused, jumbled, mismanaged, almost always has a direct correlation to a lack of financial success. So a calendar is like the first insight into whether or not you're on track to deploy your time and your money and your resources in the most efficient and effective way. Last week, I spent too much time on business management. I exceeded my budget. The business was requiring me, or I was making bad choices, or I didn't have good enough boundaries with my staff, and I was spending way too much time on business management. My budget for business growth is actually 20 hours. Managing a chronic illness takes an average of 10 hours a week. No problem. Let's design for that. That might mean that the contribution you're making to community is to take really good care of your health. And it's not the right phase of life to do lots of volunteering or other things, as an example. So I love reality, right? I love reality. Some of the most phenomenal humans I know deal with the most shockingly complicated physical, mental, and family realities, that they're in such deep reality on it that they design truth in their life around it, and they time block for it.
I was invited by the State Department to participate in this program where I host an international fellow. And I was like, yes. And then I questioned myself, and the imposter syndrome snuck up on me, and I'm still getting teary about it, right? And the question was in the 5 minutes, what came up for me. So when I pose this question, I always go to thoughts, emotions, and sensations in my body, right? What am I experiencing? And it's fun to observe the mind, because I went from being anxious to eager to move to getting on with my day. I want to produce. I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm feeling like a failure. I feel like a fraud. I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling excited. So I take it like those 5 minutes were really good to reconnect me to what I already know, which is that I have monkeys that want to say things to me and get my attention.
My resolve is to participate. So that's why I raised my hand, even I don't really know what to say, but obviously it was on point.
No, it's perfect. You do have a lot to say. And I think, I love the statement, my resolve is to participate. That's a strong mindset, right? I may be feeling in despair. I may be feeling overwhelmed. I may be having a good day or a bad day, but my resolve is to participate, right? To me, that is actually the definition of a strong mindset. I will participate in life. I will participate in structure and support. I will crawl my way to that thing I don't want to do because I know it will help me, even if I have zero desire. I think there's a really, really important place for both of them. But I would say that they offer very similar, but nuanced differences. I don't know if that's right. And again, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer in what works for you, but I think it's fun to explore all the different forms of building our mindset, right? Journaling to get to clarity, nothing, just thinking to get to, unstructured, openness. Does that help though, Jennifer? I think the absolute perfect equation is SLAP. Go to a mindset call more than once a month. So in a perfect world, I would say do a mindset call every 2 weeks. Once a week, if you're in a period of really needing to create a lot of change, I think weekly mindset calls are game changers. To be really intentional and serious, I would do a mindset call every 2 weeks. That's the first thing that I would do. The second thing is I think everyone needs a therapist. I would have a therapist that you talk to once a month in good days and in bad days, good times, bad times, and increase to twice a month if you're struggling. But I will go to a therapist once a month for the rest of my life, forever and ever and ever. Amen. So SLAP with a mindset call twice a month. They're only 20 minutes long. A therapist once a month if things are tough, right? Basically, my rule is if things are tough, double. So in the perfect world, 2 mindset calls a month, 1 therapy call a month.